the mirror frequencies will be a redundant one. Even we try to compute, we'll get the same result again. So the half of the frame is sufficient for the S of n calculation. That means the energy calculation. And the second one will be Mel coefficients. But if we check for the Mel coefficients, if we check for the Mel coefficient, the first bank has 0, 1, 2 as non-zero elements, and the remaining all 125 coefficients are 0. Similarly, for the second bank, 1, 2, 5 coefficients are non-zero, and the remaining coefficients are completely 0. It means 0th coefficient and from 6 to 127 are 0. Only the 1 to 5 coefficient has the real magnitudes. Similarly, for all 20 banks for the 8 kilohertz, it was mentioned in the table. For the 16 kilohertz, same 0 to 4 for the first bank and 2 to 8 for the second bank. If you observe both the tables, between the banks, that means between the consecutive banks, the coefficients number, that means the coefficient positions are overlap. It means for the first bank 0, 1, 2, in that the one position coefficient and second position coefficient has a non-zero element. Similarly, for the second bank, the first position and the second position is a non-zero element. So for the 0th bank and the first bank, the first position and second position has non-zero element between these two. So why we are analyzing this in the sense, as I said, the computation time required for this entire feature extraction is restricted for the 80 clock cycle for the 8 kilohertz and 160 clock cycle for the 16 kilohertz. Here, if you observe, we need to read actually 239, that means 0 to 239, which is actually 240 elements. It means minimum we need 240 clock cycles. Or else, if you are reading in terms of frequency coefficients, that means after the FFT component, we need to read from 0 to 127, which means 128 elements we have to read. So this is the second restrictions we are getting for the building of the architecture. Okay. So the black diagram, we can able to observe the coefficient RAM and the non-zero IP RAM. So if the coefficient RAM and the non-zero IP RAM, if it gives proper value to the MAC will do the mathematical computation of summation of x of k into h of k, which is s of k is a FFT coefficient and h of k will be the Milbank coefficient. So to give this proper value from the RAM to the MAC, we need a control logic, and this control logic has to read the proper values to the MAC bank. So initially what we did, we stored all the non-zero coefficients in a single RAM as a coefficient RAM from 0 to 239. But when we try to read these coefficients, we need to read as a range of signals as per the table. So the first bank we need to read 0 to 2. It means it's representing similar in the FFT coefficients. I need the element of 0, 1 and 2. So the 0 coefficient will read with the 0 coefficient of FFT magnitude. The first coefficient in the Milbank will be read with the first coefficient of FFT. Similarly, for the second coefficient of Milbank will be read with the second coefficient of FFT function. So whenever we try to read a 0 to 2 of the first bank, that means the first 3 elements, we need to read the FFT coefficient of 0 to 2. Similarly, for the second bank, if you are reading 1 to 5, which is actually from third element to the 8th element. So this third element to the 8th element of the coefficient RAM, which is nothing but exactly reading the first element to the 5th element of the FFT coefficient. So the IPLR and IPUR actually showing that we need to read which coefficient of the FFT functionality. So the number of elements, it is showing that how many number of non-zero coefficients are there in the Mel coefficient. So the coefficient upper range is used to select or you should to shift the next bank. So whenever the upper range reach, it means the MAC understood it has to pass the value to the output node, and it is going to the next bank computation. So since it has different numbers of elements for each and every bank, so the maximum number will be 25. The MAC is configured for the 25 element computation. This is for the 8 kilohertz, and for the 16 kilohertz it was configured for the 59 element computation. So to do this range of selection or range of counting, we have one module called a range counter or IP range selector. Try to count the range which is exactly mentioned in the mill banks as a lower range and the upper range. So the address RAM is a main counter which is trying to generate a major address. Based on this address, it is trying to select the bank of the mail bank. So the mail bank, if it is bank 1, the range is 0 to 2. Whenever the upper range reach, the address RAM will get incremented. So for the second RAM, 1 to 5, so the upper range is 5. So whenever the 5 is reached, it will change to the next bank. That means the third bank. The bank resolver is the major thing to decide whether the stage 1 or the stage 2 has to be synchronized or not. Since the stage 1 need a completely 240 clock cycle for the SFN energy computation and 12 clock cycle for the CFN, which is feature extraction computation. So the problem, this clock mismatch, we need to handle it. So whenever one bank completed, both the stages will move to the next bank of computation. So to do this, the bank resolver has a feedback from the second stage to the first stage, and the number of elements from each bank and the upper range will use to resolve this mismatch from stage 1 to stage 2. Based on the bank resolver and based on the address RAM and based on the coefficient selector, also the input range, the decider will decide whether it has to increment or whether it has to stay in the same bank. So this decider is a major control line to make a decision for the bank resolver. The bank resolver takes the decision for the address RAM, and the address RAM take the decision for the range selector. So based on all these things, the coefficient selector is a continuous counting element from 0 to 239 or else 0 to 430, so which is a 16 kilohertz. For the coefficient RAM, whenever it gets the proper value, similar non-zero input RAMs, that means, sorry, it's a non-zero input RAM means it's actually the FFT coefficients, 0 to 127. So whenever we read these two values, the MAC will start operating, and the MAC will compute the multiplication and the accumulation, and whenever a decider incremented or the address RAM get incremented, it is moving to the next bank. So whenever it moving to the next bank, the MAC will give the result to the log computation. It means the first coefficient is given from the mail bank. So the first mail bank coefficient is given for the log computation whenever address RAM get incremented or a decider switching it from one state to the other state. So after the log computation, it is given to the bank of D flip-flops to maintain the synchronization or to give some ideal time for the pipeline stage 1. Then it was given to the log buffer. After the computation of log, we need to store it to compute the C of n. If you want to calculate the C of n feature vector, we need all 20 bank frequency spectrum. Until we are getting a 20 bank frequency spectrum, we can't move for the feature vector computation. So we need a log buffer which is storing one after one the log computed of the energy spectrum. The address selector, again, it will try to increment between one bank to the other bank. So the cost ROM is a pre-computed values of the ROM, which is actually 1 12 into 20, which is 240 for the, which actually the number of banks into the order, MFCC order. So 240 different values will be stored in the cost RAM. So based on the cost, address selector count from 1 to 240, it will keep on give the one after the next value. Based on this log and cast, the second MAC will start computing. So based on the address selector, the second MAC will decide whether it has to give the first set of feature vector to the output or not. So unless the address selector gets changed, the MAC will trying to accumulate the entire value. So once the address selector change from one state to the other state, the MAC will give the output as a feature vector in the output node. So down the clock cycle or the clock diagram is shown. It means whenever a reset happened, after a reset, the master counter will start from 0 to n, and from that point onwards, we are trying to generate an input address for the coefficient RAM and FFT RAM. So whenever this address are generated from the address RAM, it will try to calculate it, and then it will trying to do the upper range and lower range calculation for the Melbank calculations. So whenever all this address calculation is done, the S of n and the C of n computation will happen. But when we trying this version 1 for the real time, it will have a drawback since it doesn't meet exactly with the input coefficients, which is non-overlapped coefficients from the input. The non-overlap coefficients